This video, we're gonna go over all of the reasons that myself and my wife moved here to Durango, the reasons my parents moved here to Durango, the reasons a lot of my clients and friends and family are moving here to Durango as well. We're gonna go over a lot of different specifics. So we're gonna talk diversity of homes, from areas where it gets a lot of snow to condos to townhomes, manufactured homes, different areas where homes are at, different things you need to look out for. We're gonna go into all the different fishing opportunities here. We're gonna go into all the different types of wildlife you might see here, and maybe some wildlife you might not wanna see here and how to avoid that. We're gonna talk about the climate, how it differs compared to a lot of other climates, even in Colorado, other resort towns, the proximity to other towns around us, like the distance to, say, Phoenix, Albuquerque, Dallas. Talk about the flights, maybe some of the reasons you might not want to move here regarding the flights, the distance to things, and much, much more. And we're diving into it right now. Now, although the video is all about the reasons you should move to Durango, if you've seen my videos before, you know I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm still going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. So the first thing on the list is going to be that Durango is small. It's a small town, but not too small. So I'm really comparing our town to a lot of other small towns in Durango, a lot of other mountain towns in particular, because when most people are looking at moving here, they're looking at other mountain towns. They want similar amenities and they're kind of comparing. So let's actually compare for a second Durango to some other small towns around us to start. So Bayfield is about 30 minutes away from us, 30 minutes east of us. Pagosa is about another 30 minutes, so about an hour away, just approximately. And both towns are very, very small in comparison to Durango, even though Durango is pretty small. So Pagosa is interesting in that it has a cool downtown, some great shops, some great restaurants, but really nothing compared to Durango. Again, just in comparison. And the other unique thing about it is you've got Highway 160 going through Pagosa, and downtown is kind of on either side of Highway 160. They, of course, have some phenomenal hot springs there. They are adding on to those hot springs to make them even better. They're right on the river. They have some incredible amenities there, some incredible things to do. They back up to a ton of national forest. If there's properties, if there's areas that you're looking at, reach out, give me a call, text, email. Like I mentioned before, I'm a licensed realtor here in Durango. Love to help you with all your real estate needs. So Pagosa Springs definitely should still be on your list, but I just want to point out that they are much, much smaller, just much less as far as restaurant scene, if that's something you're really into and is really important to you. And then if we look at Bayfield, much smaller as well. They have a small grocery store. Make sure to check out some of my videos on Bayfield where I go into much greater detail on Bayfield. In there, I talk about the grocery store. I actually walk in the grocery store and show you. A lot of people in Bayfield, or just in general, are saying it's not really a grocery store because it's so small and it just doesn't offer a lot. But for the size of town, it just makes sense. And so a lot of people are driving to Walmart or City Market in Durango to do their shopping once a week from Bayfield. So again, kind of like Pagosa, Bayfield is incredible. They back up to a ton of national forest. They're closer to Vallecito and Lemon Reservoir, which is really awesome. Two really awesome lakes. They have tons of different trails. So it's a really cool area just all around. But I just want to compare and say that overall Durango is just going to have a lot more as far as restaurants, as far as shopping. River Trail is much longer than in Pagosa, at just about 9 miles as well. Then the other thing I just wanted to point out again, like I said earlier, in comparison to a lot of other mountain towns, our weather, in my opinion, is much, much better. And just our altitude is much lower as well. So we're going to get a lot less snow. And if you have trouble with higher altitude in town Durango 6512. If you stay within, let's call it 15 minutes of downtown Durango, you're still going to be under 8,000 feet elevation. Had a client call me the other day asking about elevation, saying they really needed to stay under 8,000 feet. So you really are able to do that if you're staying, let's say, within 15 minutes of downtown Durango. Again, kind of varies because there's areas that climb pretty quickly as you're going out of town. So again, if there's properties, if there's areas that you're looking at, reach out, give me a call, text, email. Like I mentioned before, I'm a licensed realtor here in Durango. Love to help you with all your real estate needs. And so I'd love to go out and show you that property, give you a video of that property if you really like it, and just give you an understanding of what the terrain looks like, because that's something really hard to tell online. The other thing I recommend doing is going to Google Earth. You can get a good understanding of the area that you're looking at in particular. You see a home you like, then go to Google Earth, type in that address, and then kind of look at what the topography looks like if you don't want to be up higher elevation, or if you want some more usable land. Just to elaborate on that, I've had clients that really want, say, 10, 15 acres acres of usable land, and then they look at the property and it's, you know, right on a ridge. So the home really has 1 acre around it. And so I haven't really done this before in any videos, but I want to tell you a little bit more about the restaurant scene here. When I was talking about small town but not too small, I just want to elaborate on that, really kind of show you that. So I've got a list here in front of me just so I don't forget any restaurants. Just want to go down some that are kind of on the top of some lists out there, some restaurants that some of my friends and family really love, and some that we really frequent. The first spot is going to be Zia Taqueria. This is a spot that we frequent a lot. We really enjoy. Really kind of a casual dining spot. If you want, you can pull out your laptop. You could have a meeting there. They've got a south and north location. We've got 2 different locations. Really cool spot to sit outside, just enjoy the sun, especially on a nice spring, summer day. And they've got a really nice bar as well in one of the locations. In your north location, they're kind of like Chipotle, just to give you an idea of what it's like, but much better, much more local. They have their own salsas that they make. It's a really good spot that everybody goes to. A little unknown secret, if you will, that you might not know if you're out of town. Right across from them is a really good pizza spot, Home Slice, just to lead into the next spot. And then next to them, they have a little spot where they have kind of a mobile ice cream shop, which is Cream Bean Berry, and they set up there at Home Slice. And then Cream Bean Berry also has an actual brick and mortar downtown Durango. So just to lead into an ice cream spot, Cream Bean Berry is incredible. I highly recommend them. Again, like I mentioned, 2 spots, one at Home Slice and then one downtown Durango, just kind of real close to Buckley Park as you're getting into downtown Durango from south or from north Durango. Then let's talk about some other spots. You've got Carver Brewing Company. Really good kind of sit down spot with some really good beer. One of those big menus with like a lot of American food, some good burgers, good fries, and that kind of stuff. Really good food overall, but just kind of your hangout, grab a beer type of spot. Good happy hour as well. And now let's hit on some fine dining. We hit on some pizza, some burrito spots, some ice cream. Eolus Bar and Dining. Really good spot. Highly recommend it. Fine dining, heated rooftop bar with views of the Animas River below. So cool spot. Definitely recommend checking them out. More American food in there as well. And the next one's gonna be Chiang Thai. I recommend Chiang Thai. My dad and I love going there for some good pad Thai food. Really tiny little hole in the wall spot up by the movie theater. Definitely recommend them. Then you got El Moro Spirits. They're kind of this like historic saloon feel. They're kind of a little bit higher end, good steak, really good mixed drinks. And then you've got 11th Street Station. So 11th Street Station is a spot that I like to go when clients come into town. If they're saying, hey, let's go out to eat after we look at a home, we always go there because they've got a bunch of different food trucks. So you've got a bunch of different options. They've also got some great drinks, mixed drinks, beers, wine, some really good pizza there, some great, just different options. I was talking to one of the restaurant owners there. They came up from the Albuquerque area, started a restaurant here in one of those food trucks. They've got some great ice cream bars called Paletta Bars. Really good. I recommend them a lot. And just checking out that area, just a fun spot to hang out at. And they're really just centrally located, again, at 11th Street Station. Now, if you're watching this and I didn't mention a restaurant that you really like, please throw it down in the comments. Would love to hear your thoughts. Share your thoughts so everybody else can see in the comments down below. I know there's way more restaurants that I love that I didn't mention. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna mention one more, James Ranch. They're not downtown. They're up north in the Animas Valley, about 15-16 minutes from downtown Durango. Highly recommend them. Probably the best views out of any restaurant. Really good burgers, grass-fed beef, regeneratively raised beef on their property. Great burgers, great deck looking out at the valley and those incredible red cliffs that are beyond their restaurant there. All right, now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna clip in a couple clips of 2 different videos. One where I talk all about the Hillcrest golf course, and then another where I talk all about the Dalton golf course. So let's roll the clip where I talk about the Dalton golf course, and then we'll go into Hillcrest from there and then come back. Hi guys, we're in Dalton Ranch. I personally really love this area. I live in the Animas Valley as well, which is where this is situated. So we're on a 270 acre golf course. This is 18 holes. Talked to a few people that were golfing as I showed up here preparing for this video, and also talked to some people that work here. What they told me was, again, there's water on 16 of the 18 holes, which really differentiates it from the other golf courses in the area. It doesn't play long but narrow. Longer drivers will hit iron off the tee. The greens are elevated here. And I asked somebody what was a really differentiating factor of this than a lot of other golf courses that you've been on. He said it's a lot more fair and challenging. He said he's golfed around the country and really loves this golf course in comparison to a lot of other golf courses he's been on. Again, the water is the big difference. We are at Hillcrest Golf Course. So I'll start with the location. We are kind of in the middle of town here. We're kind of on a mesa overlooking downtown Durango. The views from this area are stunning. Really cool. You've got ridges and mountains all around you at this golf course, and it is a public golf course. So you've got a lot more affordable prices at this golf course than the semi-private and private golf courses around here. Now, I wanted to get into some more specifics on this golf course. So it was built in '69. They do have a bar cart. They started at 9 holes and then went to 18 and expanded it. What's really awesome about this is they're really great at keeping the grounds super green, really pretty golf course. I was asking them about what kind of reviews they've gotten from people that golf around the country or is their first trip here. They said a lot of people have said this is one of the nicest golf courses they've been at as far as the just amenities, the staff, and just a lot of what it had to offer. Lots of tournaments. They have demo days. They have a great women's association. They golf on Tuesdays and then some other days as well. All the staff are golfers. They said they even have, younger staff like high schoolers, and even they are on the golf team or really love to golf as well. So you've got a huge passion for golfing. This is a park style golf course. Fast greens, putting greens are pretty tough here, according to the staff when I was asking them about kind of the nuances of this golf course. Bathrooms are every 3 holes. They mentioned that's a big difference from some of the other golf courses that they have golfed on. They told me about the rating system. So black is gonna be rated 71.4, black blue 70.1, blue 69.3, blue gold 67.6, gold 65.8, gold white 63.9, and white is 61.7. So let's see, black total, you're golfing 67.27 yards there, looks like. And happy to put this up on the screen again, show you the map, show you more information on this. Durango has more mild winters compared to other mountain towns. And so I really wanted to start by comparing to other mountain towns, but we're also gonna compare to some other bigger cities. As you probably already know, compared to Albuquerque, Phoenix, Dallas, we're approximately 10 to 15 degrees cooler here. So for example, I was in Albuquerque last weekend. It was about 95, 96 when it was under 75 degrees here in Durango. Yesterday it was 88 degrees here in Durango, which is kind of hot, but yet it was 101 in Albuquerque. I'm gonna look down at my notes and actually give you some examples. So June is average of 86, July average of 89, and then August dips down to an average of 85. Morning temperatures are cooler, often in the 60s here in Durango. So the summers really are just about perfect. I like to address AC. There's a lot of homes that won't have AC, air conditioning. Our home doesn't. So we have a lot of fans throughout the house and we just open up the doors, get a breeze through. But there's really only 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks where you feel like you would want AC in your home. There are a lot of homes where you do the split AC units, the wall units. They're really nice. They work really well. I was talking to somebody yesterday and they were talking about how in Europe they have those. They're a lot more frequent. You'll see them a lot more frequently in homes out that way. Get into a little bit more details. You'll see swamp coolers here a little bit, but for the most part, you don't see many swamp coolers here, but that's also a good way to do it. And then again, I just want to emphasize higher elevations. Higher elevations, it could be as much as 10 degrees cooler than even in town Durango when you get up past 8,000, 9,000 feet elevation. Even up near 7,500 feet, 1,000 feet higher than in town Durango, it's getting in that 2 to 4 degrees cooler than in town Durango. So it really varies. Even when you go 10, 15 minutes away from downtown Durango, you could be at that high of elevation. Then another thing a lot of people aren't aware of is monsoon season. So in kind of the fall and really in August, we have monsoon season. Typically we'll get a lot of rain. You'll have like an hour to 2 hours where it rains real heavy. You'll get hail, lightning storms as well. And lightning storms will affect travel. So if you're trying to fly out of here quite a bit in August in that kind of general time frame, that could affect travel. Just be aware of that. I've seen that affect travel quite a bit where they've even had to move the flights to the next day. Then the next thing is just to go over kind of the fall season with you guys. So September temperatures drop down to the mid 70s. So fairly drastic drop. And then October continues to drop and drop. And then the fall foliage is incredible. It is stunning. running. People come from New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, all over to see the fall leaves change. So there are some good guides online to actually see where and what elevation they're changing at when, because in town Durango, it's closer to mid to late, kind of mid-October. And then as you go higher up in elevation, it's changing earlier. So it really varies. You want to check that out online, look and make sure to compare as to when you're coming out here. Everybody thinks of September, and it's really, the leaves aren't changing a whole lot in early to mid-September, except maybe at higher elevation. Then it also just depends on the year. It does vary. Then let's talk a little bit more about hiking and outdoor stuff. So this is my favorite. I absolutely love to hike, love to run, love to do a lot of trail running. We just signed up for the Imogene Pass trail run, which is really, really popular. I think they had like 800 people sign up within the first like 10 minutes of opening up the race for sign up. And so we're doing that race. My wife and I are doing that one coming up. I absolutely love running. And so there's so many cool trails. Hermosa Creek Trail. There's awesome areas around Silverton. There's tons and tons of different trails just all throughout in town Durango. And then there's so many different subdivisions that back up to many different trails. So like I said earlier, licensed realtor here in Durango. So reach out if you're curious about finding a home that backs up to trails or has trails going through this subdivision. So a lot of kind of secret unknown subdivisions that back up to trails, or even homes that are either off grid or just not in a subdivision that back up to trails or national forest. All right, now let's talk about the winter snowfall. So this is really important, especially depending on the elevation of the home you're looking at. Again, I always want to emphasize the amount of snow you get really varies based on the location of the home. So you'll see a home in town Durango or close to in town Durango. Again, 6512 is the elevation in town Durango and around Durango, but it climbs pretty significantly. Within a 10-minute drive, you can be up at 7,500 feet elevation. You can be getting double the snow that in town Durango gets. So it really just varies. I'm going to give you guys some comparisons. Actually, let me first say that in town Durango gets 67 inches on average so that you can kind of compare. It usually snows right after or somewhere around Thanksgiving. I think this last year it was a little late. It was closer to the beginning of December, if I remember right. And sometimes it's a week or two before Thanksgiving as well. And then a lot of your snow comes in January and February. Last year, we got a lot of snow in March as well. Back to the reason why we're shooting this video of telling you the reasons you should move to Durango is I'm going to tell you the amount of snowfall that all of these other mountain towns are getting in comparison to Durango. So I'm just going to list them off. Again, Durango, in town Durango, getting 67 inches of snow annually on average. Aspen, 170, Breckenridge 184, Crested Butte 203, Telluride 130, Silverton 172, Alamosa 30 inches, so they drop down their lower elevation. Colorado National Monument 21, Cortez 33. Some of these you wouldn't say they're mountain towns. Cortez is about an hour away from us here. All right, then Glenwood Springs 38 inches, Grand Junction 17, Gunnison 45, Leadville 156, Mesa Verde National Park 65 inches. They're again about an hour away from downtown Durango, a little bit less. Ouray 126, and then Steamboat Springs 184. So as you can tell, some of these places are getting triple or even more snow than in town Durango. So of course, Purgatory Ski Resort is getting quite a bit more than in town Durango, but this is comparing in town Durango to these other areas. Now, I'm going to go down the list and kind of tell you some of the areas in and around Durango of the snow, the amount of snow that they're getting. So why I'm going to do this is it really, really varies, again, just based on where the subdivision is. So a good example is one of the first places on our list here is Durango Hills at 19 inches. What I did is we've got a weather guy in town, a local weather guy called Durango Weather Guy. Definitely worth going to his website, checking it out. And so what he'll do is he'll have people that live in these subdivisions send him totals of the amount of snow they're getting, and then he'll put them on his website. So I pulled it straight from his website from a snowfall that we got this last winter. All right, so the storm that I'm comparing these other areas to, we got 5 inches in downtown Durango. So that way you have an idea how to compare. So downtown Durango, again, got 5 inches. Then let's start with Durango Hills. They got 19 inches. Durango Hills is only, going off memory here, is only about 12 minutes from downtown Durango going east. And then you've got, let's just kind of go down the list of stuff that's closer to town or fairly close to town. Enchanted Forest, 15 inches. They're, again, higher elevation, as you can tell. Hesperus, 13, lower elevation. Then higher elevation, they got 16 inches. Durango West got 15 inches. Again, they're only about 10 minutes from town going west of town. Then you've got Upper and Lower Forest Lakes at 14 and 12. They're in Bayfield, only a few minutes from Bayfield. Then you've got Glacier at 13. That is where They're really incredible, exclusive private golf courses. They're up north of the Animas Valley, so they start climbing above that 65. They're above 7,000 feet elevation. Then you've got Falls Creek Ranch at 14, Pine River Ranch is at 17. They are back in Bayfield area. Cortez down at 5.75 inches. Then Gem Village, which is just as you're getting in, as you're starting to get into Bayfield, they got 8 inches. Now let's talk about a few areas that are around, towns that are around Durango. So Wolf Creek 45, Purgatory 39, Telluride 30, Silverton 18, Lemon Reservoir 21, and then Mancos 8 inches and Dolores 7. So I hope that helps. I know that's, I'm going on and on with a bunch of numbers, but I hope that helps, especially if you're a little bit more analytical, really want to understand the difference of the snowfall. So in Durango, January's average high is 41 degrees and their average low is going to be 13 degrees. So what I want to do now is compare that to some other mountain towns and just other towns around Durango within, let's say, a 6-7 hour drive. So again, high 41, low 13 in Durango. And let's compare to Denver, high 44, low 17. Montrose, 39, low 16. Grand Junction, high is 38, low is 17. Aspen, high is 36, low is 7. Steamboat Springs, high of 27, low of 3 degrees. Crested Butte, 26, low of -8. And then Telluride, high of 27, low of 7. Ouray, high of 26, low of 7. So as you can see, all of these, except for Denver, are quite a bit lower. 10 degrees plus lower than Durango, in-town Durango. Obviously, again, higher elevation gets colder. Just like in the summer, it gets cooler at higher elevation. But all of these are significantly colder. Again, look at Telluride, Crested Butte, 26, 27. Steamboat, 27. Aspen, 36. Aspen's a little higher, but still, they're 7-8 degrees difference. Crazy difference from a lot of these. Something else when I discuss weather is I want to mention safety, guys. There are almost every year there's somebody that dies from something related to just outdoor safety, whether it's heli skiing or backcountry skiing. I really recommend taking a class on avalanches, just learning about avalanche danger. Also just being really safe out there, having water with you, having a tent, having a sleeping bag in your car if you're going for even just a one-day trip or a trip into the backcountry, even just for a day. Just having some extra stuff with you, having some food. I always just want to mention that on these videos. Maybe these videos end up helping someone that's watching this.